Hi, my name is Mark Brown. I'm the creator of the YouTube channel Game Maker's Toolkit, which is about game design. I used to be a games journalist, but now I don't have to do that anymore because this is my full-time job, which is very nice. I've been playing video games for pretty much all of my life. I've been very lucky that my family is very into games, so my brother and my dad introduced me to things. So I was playing like Mario games on the Game Boy when I was, I don't know, 4 years old or something. So I've been playing them pretty much forever. And I've been playing, I had like an Amiga growing up and loads of different Nintendo consoles, just sort of playing as much as I could. And it's just always been kind of a hobby for me, but in more recent years, getting into games journalism and writing about games and writing about them for magazines and stuff and talking to developers and going around the world and all this sort of stuff has kind of helped me realize that, you know, there's so much incredible artistry that goes into making these games, so many clever design decisions and stuff, and that's really what I wanted to share with people is, you know, these games don't just come out of the ether, but they're from very talented people making very clever decisions.
What inspired you to make your own YouTube videos?
So while I was doing games journalism, there was always the sort of nagging notion that video was going to become this next big thing, and that if you weren't on YouTube, then your career was basically on a ticking time bomb. But I never felt like I could quite fit in with people like PewDiePie and stuff who were, you know, screaming at their cameras. It didn't really fit for me. But then starting to see the rise of like video essays, especially around like movies and stuff, made me realize, oh, maybe we could do that for games. And it turns out there's already people doing that. I just haven't been watching them. But it gave me the confidence to like get involved and try it myself. I've done a bit of video stuff for Pocket Gamer where I used to work, so you know, learning the basics of Adobe Premiere and stuff. But it really came the idea of making a video. Just I randomly wanted to tweet one day about some clever musical thing they had in one of the Zelda games, and I'm like, I couldn't find a good video of it on YouTube, and I was like, well, I've got a capture card and I've got a Wii and I've got this stuff, maybe I could just capture it. And then I started thinking, well, maybe I can actually turn it into more of a interesting video and think about, you know, explore this idea. And so yeah, I just sort of tried it, and I remember telling myself, like, don't be lazy, Mark, don't like just get bored of this, see it through to the end, just do one video and see how you feel about it. And I did it, and I really enjoyed doing it, and the reaction was really good, and it just made me want to just keep making more of them. And so that's where I am now, and I'm always learning more. Every time I make a video, I'm always learning more about production quality, about structuring my argument, about getting the right footage and things like that. So yeah, just a lot of practice and a lot of time.
What made you interested in the behind the scenes of game development?
I think I remember playing the Portal games, and they had the director's commentary sort of mode or developer's commentary, and you could play through, you know, listen to how the games were made, and they were telling you all this fascinating stuff about really clever ways that they were introducing puzzles to you and teaching you things about the game without you even realizing it, and the way they use lighting to guide you around. And it really made me realize that games are so smart, and that, you know, then we kind of take them for granted as just being these sort of fun toy-like things, but there's so much going into them and so much smart stuff behind them. I really just wanted to share that with other people, and so it's just been a journey of learning about it. And you know, people might assume that I am smart and know stuff, but that's really not the case. Is that just at the start of every video, I'm really curious about a topic. I really want to learn about artificial intelligence or level design or something. So I just do research, and I just play the games and take notes and, you know, learn about it, and then come out at the end and be like, this is what I found out, let me share this with you. So yeah, that's about it.
What was your main influence in creating Game Maker's Toolkit?
Well, so there's a movie one called Every Frame a Painting, which is sort of very kind of similar style to mine. What I really liked about it had like a few different things I liked. One was he was never on camera, which was nice. I didn't have to deal with that, and he was still getting, you know, hundreds of thousands of views. But he was also looking at films, not just I say he, a guy called Tony, looking at films not in the way that a lot of people talk about films, talking about the story and the characters and stuff, but more about the sort of the way the film is shot and the way it's edited and all this sort of background stuff that I felt was actually more interesting sometimes than, you know, talking about the themes or the story or the plot and stuff. So that kind of gave me this, you know, a real kick up the pants to say that this is a thing that people would be interested in with games. not to say that I'm the first person who's ever done this. There's other channels that do it. Though I didn't really know about other gaming video essays before I started, but I watch them all now, and it's a really nice community of people who make these videos. Quite different from games journalism, where in games journalism everyone was kind of a bit more in competition with each other. Everyone's chasing after the same, want to get their review out first, or chasing after the same news stories. There's a bit more of a sort of antagonistic relationship between people. But in the video essay or YouTube and stuff, everyone's like friends with each other. We all watch each other's videos. We all support each other, in different ways. So it's really nice.
What does the production pipeline of your videos look like?
So, first of all, I've got to come up with an idea, obviously, which is almost always based around what I'm just playing at the moment. Or it might be sort of like I'll jump off of what I'm playing onto some other idea it'll spark in me, or I'm just curious about a topic. Then there's the research process, which is pretty much always the longest bit, where I like to just immerse myself in the topic for like a week of just like read as much as I can, watch GDC talks, listen to developer podcast interviews, read academic papers, whatever I can do, and just like fill my brain with stuff until I feel like I could make a 4-hour video on the topic, but then I make like a 10-minute video where I just try to condense it down as much as possible. So then I kind of like write the script. I think about the structure of the different points I want to get across and the right way to flow from point to point, because you don't want to get people confused. You want to grab their attention at the beginning and then lead them through the video. Then I write it. Then I record it, which means standing in front of a microphone and hate myself for like an hour of just making mistakes and stuff. And then start putting it all together, which is, kind of can be fun. I get to play around with like motion graphics, and I get to do like fun editing and music and stuff like that. So that's really enjoyable. Put the video out, and then start working the next one. So it's always moving on.
Do you struggle with the fact that other creators might gain more attention despite lower production quality?
I don't worry about it too much. It's a very different audience. There's a lot of younger people watching, the sort of Let's Play stuff. And I mean, also I should say they do put in some amount of effort, quite a lot of effort. They plan for it and they do bad takes and they try again and stuff. But it's just, I think it's always the way with things, which is that there's certain types of topics that a small number of people will get really into and really enjoy. And it's awesome that the internet and YouTube and things like Patreon and stuff have allowed that sort of stuff to exist, even though it's not getting a bazillion views every time they put out a video. And so that's the nice thing with YouTube, is that both types of videos can exist together. You can be subscribed to my channel and PewDiePie and Jacksepticeye and also someone else as well. So you get all whatever you want, and you get a mix or choose. Yeah.
Have you thought of expanding into other media?
I've thought about making a video game. I'd like to try it maybe one day. I'm just very nervous that it'll just be terrible, and then people will judge me because I keep talking about game design stuff. They're like, this guy will know what he's talking about, and then it'll be bad. In terms of like a book, I've also thought about that, but I kind of feel like it would be almost inferior to a video, because with video you get to show people what the game looks like, and you get to like slow down time and focus on stuff, whereas a book, is not really the best way of doing it. I mean, ultimately the best way would be like a game that tells you how to make games or something. Maybe that's something to look into, because then you've got the exact medium to medium thing. You're not losing anything in the transition. So that might be something. Other mediums, I thought about maybe like doing a podcast and stuff, but it's just ultimately I want to focus on the videos at the moment, just because they're so time consuming that even getting 2 out a month or 1 out a month can be challenging. So that's just sort of the focus at the moment.
Is there any game design practice you think game developers are overlooking these days?
I think a problem that a number of smaller developers or new developers, student developers fall into is they get very excited about the story behind the game before they even get started with anything. They're like, this game is going to be about this mercenary dude with a talking parrot and is going to save his girlfriend who's a Segway or something. And they get really into that and then try and work backwards to think about what sort of mechanics would fit. Whereas what a lot of the sort of more experienced and sort of classically trained sort of designer people do is they start more with the mechanics first, come up with something fun to play, and then work on what it should look like, what the story should be like, what sort of characters they're going to have in it. And so I think that is something that I would like to see more, sort of new and student developers think about when they start the game. Is let's start with making it fun first, and then we'll move on to what it looks like and sounds like and stuff.
So normally I would ask you here to subscribe to my channel, but I don't usually make videos in English, so I guess it would be pretty pointless. However, you can still smash that like button or share this video with your friends, so I can make some sweet ad revenue, you know? Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video and thank you for watching.